What's up, guys? It's Dr. Jim. I am your chiropractor, your natural health care expert, and your worldwide virtual health coach. And I want to welcome you to this video. This is part 4 of the 5-part plan on how to overcome autoimmunity and chronic health conditions naturally. Now that's exciting, and if that doesn't get you excited, then you're in the wrong place, because we're going to get excited about this. This is a big deal. This is exciting stuff. I hope you're getting on, and when you get on, please, if you wouldn't put in where you're coming in from and whether you're watching it live or on the replay, because I love to know where you're coming in from, because this has been getting to the UK, to Australia, to all over the world, as well as I want to know if you're watching it live or on the replay, because I feed off your energy. But whether you're watching it either way, it's still going to be awesome. So tonight's is part 4 of the 5-part plan on how to overcome autoimmunity and chronic health conditions naturally. All right. So before we get started, please like and share this and get this out to as many people as possible, because there's a lot of people that need this information. This is very hot topic. If you want to know what's the number one, like the fastest growing problems in the United States, or really around the world, they're chronic health conditions. All right, these chronic health conditions are growing at an alarming rate, and those include all the different kinds of autoimmune conditions. So if you have a friend or someone you know, or a family member, or you yourself have an autoimmune condition, then you definitely want to be watching this. If you know somebody with diabetes or high blood pressure, these are things that you definitely want to know about. You want them to know about. So please like it and share it. We're getting a lot of views, we're changing a lot of lives, and it's really exciting. Second, this is part 4, which means there were 3 parts before this. So on this same page, my Dr. Jim Holland DC page, are the other 3 parts to the series. Please, I highly recommend you go back and you watch them again. All right, you go back and you watch them. All right, if you didn't watch them, see them the first time, and you're just tuning in for part 4, guess what? You missed 3 awesome parts that I definitely want you to take advantage of. So go back and watch those. And also, tonight's disclaimers. I am not your doctor tonight. You are not my patient tonight. There's absolutely nothing about this video that constitutes a doctor-patient relationship. So please don't change anything about your current medical treatment because you heard me talk about something awesome and cool in this video. All right? So tonight's topic, part 4 of the 5-part plan on how to overcome autoimmunity and chronic healthcare conditions naturally. All right? Well, if we're going to talk on part 4, I got to give you a little bit of recap on what we've been talking to up until now. So part 1, we talked about if you want to overcome these conditions, number 1, you got to focus on putting out the fire, right? Too many times we spend all of our energy, running around trying to fix the fire damage, and we're chasing symptoms. And the truth is whether it be your low energy or your skin rash or whatever it is, that's not the problem. That's a symptom of the problem. The actual problem is the autoimmune condition. That's the fire. So you got to put out the fire. You got to go after the cause, not the effect. Okay? So step number 1 is you got to put out the fire. Step number 2 is you got to get off the treatment merry-go-round, right? So too many times we spend all of our money, all of our time, all of our energy looking for more names to why we feel so bad, right? We're looking for more and more diagnosis. Like if we just knew what it was, if we just had a name, then everything would be better. And unfortunately, what we can do is we can spend all of our time and energy trying to find a name to the problem, and the truth is at the end of it, they don't have anything for you. So don't spend all of your time running around chasing more diagnostic tests, or you have to question what the regular treatment is. Beware of the gurus out there. There's a lot of fake experts, so you got to be careful of that, and quit searching for the magic bullet. Like there's one individual supplement that's going to fix everything, right? So that was part 3. Part 2, you got to get off the treatment merry-go-round. And part 3 was we got to stop the food fight, right? One of the things that I find in talking to thousands of autoimmune and chronic healthcare condition people is that no one ever told them that their food could be having an impact on their condition. I mean, it blew my mind. Like, really, it is most likely that the person taking care of you, your doctor, your healthcare team, has not really been talking to you about how important food choices can be when you're managing autoimmune conditions and or chronic healthcare conditions, right? And so we got to stop the food fight, because one person says you should be keto, one person says you should be vegan, one person says you should be this. We're going to stop the food fight. There is no one perfect diet for everyone. You have to find out what's the perfect diet for you, and you have to follow that, because everybody's metabolisms work differently, and each person requires a different eating style to match up with their genetic predispositions and how their body is expressing itself in their environment. All right, so part one is you got to put out the fire. Part two, you got to get off the treatment merry-go-round. Number three is you got to stop the food fight. So that brings us to part four. Now, if you're going to be successful in anything you want to do, you got to have a plan. All right, so part four is you have to follow the blueprint. All right, so what is a blueprint? Well, a blueprint is a set of instructions. It lays out exactly from the foundation to the roof how you're going to put together your house, right? The foundation is going to be this thick, this deep. We're going to put it this wide. We're going to put in headers and footers here, and we're going to build this many walls, and these walls are going to hold the load. And then we're going to build transoms across that, and we'll put our the roof on top of that, and we're going to have windows here, and we're going to have doors here. And basically, a blueprint is from the foundation to the roof exactly how your house should be built. All right, so if you want to be successful in taking care of an autoimmune condition and chronic healthcare conditions, you've got to follow the blueprint. Now, here's the thing. Unfortunately, most of you don't have a blueprint, right? But what we have discovered in taking care of lots and lots of people naturally with these type of conditions is that there is a blueprint, that there is certain areas that you have to make sure that you're taking care of in order to take care of it. So number one is you got to address nutritional deficiencies, right? And those nutritional deficiencies can be vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, enzymes, cofactors, like all of those different parts is you have to address all of them, all right? And I'm just going to name what they are first, and we'll go back and we'll hit them, all right? You have to address your eating style. We just talked about that. Food matters. And so what you're putting in your mouth is important, and if you don't incorporate your food and your eating style into your blueprint, then you're not going to be able to be successful, all right? You've got gut health and the condition of your microbiome, all right? Really important stuff. Like, your gut is literally the number one interactor between your internal environment and your external environment, all right? So when you actually put things from the outside into your body, and your gut is what the barrier between your bloodstream and what you just put in there. So you better hope that your gut health is really good. And then of course the condition of your microbiome. Something you want to excuse me. Something you want to understand about your microbiome, all right? There is more DNA in your microbiome by over like 10,000 times than there is DNA in your actual body, all right? So you're actually you're less than 1/10 human, right? There's more bacteria and viruses and funguses living in your gut than you have cells in your whole body. So here's the point of that. How your microbiome interacts with what you're putting inside of it. Your microbiome releases toxins from what it breaks down. It releases vitamins and minerals and all kinds of things from what it breaks down. So your gut health and your microbiome are really important, right? So that's another piece to it. We have to look at your toxic burden, all right? The belief is that there's really only two main reasons of why your body would become ill, okay? Because God didn't make junk, all right? You are programmed to be healthy. That is the entire goal of your DNA, is to live at least long enough to pass your DNA on, all right? And so your body's job, it wants to survive, all right? Its ultimate state wants to be health. So the only two reasons why it cannot maintain that state is, number one, we talked about it earlier, nutritional deficiencies. It lacks the vitamins, the minerals, the fatty acids, the cofactors, the enzymes that it takes to fuel these processes in your body. And number two, and this is this next step, which is toxic burden. You're actually accumulating toxins and or damage faster than your body can get rid of it, all right? So if you want to overcome autoimmunity and chronic health conditions, you have to understand your toxic burden, all right? And then lastly is your mitochondrial and cellular health, right? So think about this. We've talked about mitochondria many times in different videos that I've done, and your mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cells. They actually create energy, all right? They're what makes cellular energy. And if your cells cannot make enough energy, then your cell health is low, and therefore your whole body health is low, all right? Your cells need energy to be able to detox. Your cells need energy to create new tissues. So if your mitochondria and your cellular health, your cell membrane actually is a huge part of bringing good things in and getting bad things out of the cell. So if your cell membranes aren't of the right consistency, then you're going to have problems. If your cell membranes, because your cell membranes actually have different substances on them that help your own immune system attach, or help your own immune system recognize that cell as being yourself. So if your cell membrane changes and it no longer looks like self, then your immune system then thinks it's okay to attack it. So you can imagine that your cellular health and your mitochondrial health, your ability for your cells to produce energy, this is really, really important. And so what happens is we've got these 5 pillars: nutritional deficiencies, eating style, gut health and microbiome, toxic burden, as well as mitochondria and cellular health. And here's the thing. If you want to be successful, you got to follow the blueprint. And these are all part of the blueprint. These are like foundation, these are walls, these are, support beams, these are, trusses, these are, these are roof boards, this is plywood, this is flooring, these are all the pieces that make up this blueprint to build your house. And if you don't follow the blueprint, if you just, think about it this way. If you start building your house and you just decide all right, I got the foundation, I put in some of this, I want to get the roof on now, and you put that roof on and you put it on before you put some of those load-bearing walls in, man, that house is just going to come crashing down on top of you. All right? So if you're going to be successful in taking care of autoimmune conditions and chronic healthcare conditions naturally, then you have to follow the blueprint. And what we know is, out of all of those different things, you have to address all of them. All right? You can't just pick you know what? I think I'm just gonna, I have diabetes. I'm just gonna quit eating sugar. That'll fix it. But see, here's the problem. You just quit eating sugar. So you made a change in your eating style. But here's the problem. If you still have nutritional deficiencies, all right? If you still have toxicities, all right? If your mitochondria in your cell, if your mitochondria can't convert things into energy, it's not going to do anything for you. You may temporarily lower your blood sugar, but the second you're not necessarily going to heal or turn around your diabetes. And the reason is because you only changed one part of all of the 5 parts. All right, there are still 4 parts that you left untouched. You just changed eating style. All right, so you have to address all of them, and that's the big mistake a lot of people make. They just make a change in eating style, and then when they don't feel better, they go, I went gluten-free, it didn't do anything for me. Well, yeah, or you heard you had a thyroid problem, and you heard, you know what, I hear a lot of people that have thyroid problems have an iodine deficiency, so I'm going to start supplementing with iodine. Great, except once you find out, okay, you've addressed iodine, but what about all the other vitamins and minerals that are important to function of the thyroid or expression of the thyroid? Or what about, you're taking iodine, but you're still eating gluten, so that's negatively affecting your thyroid. You have a ton of toxicities. There's too much bromide in your body, and it's competing with with iodine on your thyroid, right? So you look at all that and you go, wow, I changed one part, I started taking iodine, but you didn't address all of the pieces at the same time, right? You didn't follow the blueprint. You just started putting a window in, and that wasn't where a window was supposed to go, and you forgot these other walls over here, and the roof still isn't on, right? So you got to follow the blueprint. It's kind of like, where a lot of people go wrong is because there's so many programs out there to fix your gut, right? Because we really understand that a tremendous amount of your immune system is located in your gut. 80-90% of your immune system is located in your gut. And they do believe that a tremendous amount of autoimmune conditions have their epicenter really starting in your gut. So someone says, you know what? I'm going to follow this gut repair protocol, and that's going to take care of my problems. Except that's not really how it works, right? Because you might start taking a probiotic and something else to help sort of support your gut. But guess what? If you don't have all the vitamins that it takes for the cells to be produced, if you're not taking the right amount of amino acids, if you don't have the amino acids that actually help create gut lining, then you're not going to be successful. If you don't change your eating style, if you keep eating gluten and dairy and other inflammatory foods for your gut, then you're never going to be able to repair your gut because you're leaving out all those other parts. So if you want to be successful, you got to follow the blueprint. What that means is ultimately you literally have to address every one of those pieces simultaneously. And a lot of people will say, all right, well, I'm just going to address my nutritional deficiencies. Well, number one, good luck trying to figure out which ones those are, because that can be really difficult. Believe me, I know this. But, so maybe, because I see it all the time. People are like, I'm going to take magnesium, because I hear magnesium is really important. It is really important. But there's a whole, if you're just taking magnesium and then like 2 or 3 other things, well, there's a million other deficiencies that you might have that if you only fix one and there's 5 other breakdowns in your metabolic processes, just fixing that one area, it's going to stop the second it gets to the next broken section. Does that make sense? So you have to address all of those nutritional deficiencies at the same time while you're also affecting all the other pieces, right? So that's a huge part of what we're doing. So if you want to if you want to have success, part 4, if you want to have success of, and the 5-part plan of overcoming autoimmune conditions, chronic healthcare conditions, then you have to follow the blueprint. You have got to address nutritional deficiencies, all of them. You have to address your eating style. You have to address your gut health and the condition of your microbiome. You have to address your toxic burden, and you have to address cell and mitochondrial function. And you have to do them all at the same time in the right amounts, just the way you would if you're following a blueprint. All right? So that's really, really important. Now, this is the thing. I can understand that can be a little overwhelming, right? Now, you can spend a tremendous amount of time going through and trying to figure out all of that on your own. And, I did that for a really long time. But guess what? I have found a much, much easier way, all right? I have searched the world, literally the globe, through just every channel possible to figure out a way, because I knew these were things that needed to be done, and I knew that you needed to address all of them. But if you don't have the right test, then you're just guessing. So I have started a collaboration with a group of medical doctors in Europe that have a test, a very, very specific, it's called the metabolomic test, all right? Now, with this test, you can now find out all of those pieces, all of your nutritional deficiencies, your toxic burden, your gut and microbiome health, how your body breaks down food so you know the perfect diet for you, your antioxidant status, your everything that you need to know, that you need to address all at the same time to fix. We have a test now. It is you do a finger prick for your blood and you do a urine collection and we ship it to Greece. And it gets run through the most advanced testing in the world called metabolomic testing through the doctors in Europe. And then through our collaboration, we will then know exactly what you need. All right? We can test over 5,000 metabolites. These are the end products of every biochemical pathway in your body. And we know exactly what your body needs, what to eat, what to take, and the status of all of these areas so that we can literally address all of them at the same time in the right amount so that you have the blueprint to fix your autoimmune conditions and your chronic health care conditions. Now, the doctors that I am collaborating with in Europe have treated over 40,000 people with autoimmune conditions and chronic health care conditions. Things like Hashimoto's, low thyroid, Graves' disease, hyperthyroid, ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, MS, lupus, type 2 diabetes. Just, if you can name it, all right? I mean, if you have an autoimmune condition you want to know about, put it in the comments, but I can tell you that they've worked with it, all right? Now, out of those 40,000 people, they have over an 85% success rate in significantly reducing or completely eliminating your condition. All right. So my question is, does that sound like something that you would be interested in? Because this is what I want you to know. I have test kits in my office right now. All right. Out of the first group of test kits I've got, over half of them are already gone. All right. So if you're interested in this level of testing and this level of program, what I want you to do is I want you to put test in the comments. When you put test in the comments, it is going to, in Messenger, you're going to get a message. All right. You'll have to, you read through the message, it's going to ask you to say yes, and then when you say yes, we're going to send you additional information. And at the end of that, if you go through that and you're like, man, I got to get this. I've been struggling here, I've been trying this, I've been doing this, and I'm not getting anywhere. I need a precision program. I need precision medicine. I need this metabolomic test, and I need to know exactly what to eat and exactly what to take and exactly how to implement it, and I need somebody to help me do it. Then put test in the comments, and when you get all the information and it's what you want to do, then what you're going to do is you're going to answer back that you want a phone consultation. You're going to send us your phone number, and my assistant will call you, and that's how we'll get in touch, and that's how we're going to help you. All right? We'll go through a 15-minute phone consultation, and we'll talk about your condition, how it's affecting you, and whether I can accept you into this program. All right? But I want you to know it is changing lives around the world, and I'm bringing it here to the U.S. I brought it here to the U.S. Half of my test kits are already gone, and so if you want this information, go ahead and put test in the comments, and then check your Messenger, because we're going to send you a direct link to look at information, and then if you want, we'll set up a free phone consultation so that you can make sure that this is something that you would like to know about, that this is right for you. I get to decide, really, do you think this is going to be, do I think you're a good candidate? Okay, because not everybody's a good candidate. Not everybody's really serious about their health. Not everybody's really serious about overcoming their health conditions. But if you are, put test in the comments, and we'll do that, all right? So, Part 4 of the 5-part plan of overcoming autoimmune conditions. Number 1 was you got to put out the fire. Number 2, you got to get off the treatment merry-go-round. Number 3, we got to stop the food fight. Number 4 is you got to follow the blueprint. If you want the exact blueprint on exactly how to handle your condition, then you're going to want to put test in the comments and get that information from us. I'm super excited to hear from you. It's changing lives. Please like this and share this. Also, too, if you want to go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Dr. Jim Holland, we're putting all these up on there as well. And just glad that you got on tonight. So, just like I tell my son, every day before he goes to school, Be your very best today. Hashtag never quit. And I believe that God wants the very, very best for you. And the day you believe that, change your life forever. Have an awesome, awesome day.